Yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, at least we got another one for the archives. Right?
We got something. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah. Well, you know what?
long lost episode.
It will. It will make its way into history somewhere. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the pond. Good evening, and we are got a FIHL update.
Good evening.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that because we're releasing it at night.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Unless.
No, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So, dude, what's with the glasses?
Gotta hide my tears.
Why?
Boston has left the bubble.
Boston. Yeah, I tried to get a tea time in Boston. Can't right now.
Yeah,
Too many hockey players taking tea times. Can't find a golf club to save my life up there.
So, I don't want people to see me crying on TV.
I don't blame you.
But I kid not. I could care less.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, you know,
I'm here to talk about the FIHL.
Let's talk about the FIHL. So let's turn that frown upside down, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got going on? We had a weekend of combines.
Yep.
So let's talk about that. I think it's well, I'm going to tell you what I think.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then you as the architect, this is your gig. And you know what I found was, so we did the 2 combines, and we had the older kids with the first day, and meaning, was that 02, 03s?
There was it wasn't
03s?
necessarily by birth year as much as it was by where they played last season type thing.
Okay, gotcha. And then the second day was the I'll say the younger kids, maybe the
lesser experienced
kids.
Maybe the word, yeah.
And I was really surprised. Okay,
well, we had 100% turnout on both days.
That was my first thing. I there's all this fear that's going on with newness, and what does the FIHL represent? Well, you know what? As a hockey parent, I figured that out on the second day, and that second day had everything to do with the kids learning to get better.
The opportunity.
The opportunity for coaching, the opportunity to put something in play.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my takeaway. Was we had a bunch of really good kids out there,
mm-hmm.
and they wanted to be better hockey players.
Yeah, they want to play.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I had a person come by yesterday to make payment on the league, and she said, if it wasn't for this league, I think my son was going to quit. Because there wasn't a place that he could play where he felt like the purpose of playing was to get better. It was just to fill a spot, collect a check, that type of thing.
Right.
He wants to get better. And a lot of these guys that showed up Sunday especially are guys that are itching to get better.
I liked the way that it was run. It exposed, I think, the vulnerabilities of the players. Meaning where they could use some help.
So what you're saying is we ran about 4 to 5 drills in the first hour of varying tasks, and that did expose a lot of shortcomings on certain particular players.
Yeah.
Where guys need to improve, where they're good, where their strong points are. So
it was a good. I really was amazed at the variety. This is my first combine that I've ever been a part of.
Well, when you have every coach in the league participating, every coach got to do something that they wanted to see.
Yeah.
So you had 4 or 5 different minds, and I actually backed off. I said, I'm just going to stay here with a clipboard and actually study these guys as they go through the drills.
Yep.
They went through the drills in order, and I had, jersey numbers, and I had them in a specific order so that I knew when a kid came, if I didn't see his number, I knew who it was.
Right.
So I was able to actually, look at.
Yeah, there was attention put on the players. I mean, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Is that
Right.
I don't and being self-critical as a coach for tryouts. There's 60, 80 kids out there. How you can, I'll take one on the chin for this one. How can I evaluate 60 kids that
Right.
I don't know. I may know 15 of the 60.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, folks, we need to fix that. It needs to be fixed because, in fairness to the kids, if you weren't on the team the previous year, there should be a couple things that happen. Is how many spots are available?
Mm-hmm.
What are they looking for? And and is there a genuine, you know, is there a genuine opportunity there to make the team?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's what I liked with the last weekend was everyone had a place to play.
Yep. Everybody, and again, the feedback I get is excitement.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play. Can't wait to be. I actually had people email me and saying, what are the chances of my son making a team? Is he going to end up as a pool player? And I've pretty much let everybody know that at this point in time, I'm going to find a way to make sure that the only pool players are people that requested to be pool players,
right,
and that the actual rosters are going to be absolutely filled.
Okay. So we had a photographer there, which his work was fantastic.
FIHL photographer he did both days of the combine. That link got sent out to the participants so that they could see the pictures themselves.
Yeah.
Got a couple.
Did a great job.
Yeah,
he took like 2,000 pictures between the two.
Yeah,
on 4 out of 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2,000 pictures between the 2 days, which was
so that was designed. I just want the parents and the players to realize that from the beginning, this is going to be different.
Yeah.
This wasn't. I mean, take a look at the price of the combine: $40 for 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, any other combine or any other league or any other situation,
that's $70.
That's $75, $80. Yeah. But the idea is that I just need what I need to pay for that ice, and then that opens the door for more opportunity for players to get in. So, if you saw the price tag of a new league in the combine, $75 or $100, you'd be like, oh, geez,
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
And again, it's pricey enough as it is, just because of the cost of ice, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, but everyone's taking it on chin there too. I mean, this is a volunteer, effort.
Yep. And so, to that point, we have a lot of parents that are doing as I've asked, paying up front, and that's going to open the door for probably half a dozen kids that, could use some assistance in that with payment plans.
It's deferred. I mean, everyone's carrying, everyone's, and I think that was misconstrued, I think, maybe from our last podcast, was that, everyone's in. Everyone's got skin in it. Everyone's being treated the same. But I think it may have been construed as, there were kids that needed help, that there's like scholarships. There isn't. I mean, we it's not there, right? But if you have the money to book the ice,
right,
and we can defer some stuff, then it allows the kids that wanted to play.
The people that pay up front are doing. They're not just helping their kid play hockey; they're helping other kids play hockey too.
That's it.
Not a large group, but there's always going to be some folks in. Yeah, and I've been there, and
we all have.
Yeah, and no doubt, and so that's helpful, and so we're just a few away. I've been getting payments in all week, and I'm expecting more this week, and I'm expecting to be able to start negotiating ice next week and ordering jerseys next week. That's the goal. If everybody that I've talked to this week gets things in that they're we've got a huge chunk already, but we're literally 6 to 9 payments away.
Well, and I was just in your office and I saw the stack of checks sitting there, as well as the forms that everyone filled out for the code of conduct.
Right.
And again, I mean,
it's their waiting.
it's their waiting, but you know what? You walk the walk on it. I mean,
I don't want to.
You and I have a relationship. Our kids playing hockey.
Yeah.
Right. But everything else is a la carte, right? And so my expectations are no different than the rest of the players because my kids are playing in it. And everything that you said you were going to do, you've done. And that's important to me. I mean, there's a lot of bait and switch that goes on, and it's not necessarily bad. Meaning, I think everyone's intentions are pure. Don't get me wrong, but for starting something up and having the vision with it and executing on it, you've done everything that you said you were going to do.
Well, it's important to understand that the hardest part is getting the ice. And I'm not going to get to game 15, 16 and say, hey, we ran out of money, can't finish the season.
Come back to the well.
I want to make sure that I have enough to buy the rest is easy. Once the ice is paid for the entire season, I can look everybody in the eye and say, our ice is secured and we are playing an entire season.
Right.
Then the rest of it I'm willing to work on because it's the more easier and the more fun stuff. The hard part is paying for the ice.
Well, that's the heavy
collect that
lift,
money.
right?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
heavy. Get that done first. Get it out of the way, and then the rest is more enjoyable. So
right.
where we're at right now, like I said, is about a handful of people getting their payments in is going to get us to the point where we need to say, okay, we're cashing the checks, and we're going to start buying the ice, and we're going to order jerseys for these teams. So what we'll do then is actually set up, and I haven't really discussed how we're going to pull it off yet, but we're going to actually have a draft night so that these kids can say, okay, we're in the kickoff party. It's kind of like the kickoff party,
Right.
Get the draft, pick the teams, let the kids come up, get their hats. So everyone's going to get an FIHL hat, stuff like that. And, we're going to be, hopefully, I'm going to work my tail off to get us start first week of October for first game, but it might be second week. It just depends on how quickly everybody gets their payments in.
Well, you know what? We're going to get it done.
It's going to get done.
When it's right to get it done.
And we have other people still registering for the third combine, which is on the website. September 19th is the third combine. That'll be the final combine for this season. We will continue to add players and teams if the registration will always be open. But for this season's kickoff, there was two combines. This is going to be the third one that's already half full. So you want to make sure that you get into that third combine and register for the league. Like I said, when these checks payments come in, and I notify everybody, hey, I'm cashing, and we're going to work. Then we're off and running, and nothing's stopping us at that point. And you want to be a part of it for sure. It's going to be a blast. It really, really is.
Well, and so the 19th is after the high school tryouts.
Yep.
Right. So again, I've learned to appreciate that there are some things that we just can't avoid. You've gone out of your way to be politically correct in the environment.
That hurt. I'm not a politically correct person.
I know you're not, but you know what? In this case, though.
Well, again, it's not about being politically correct. It's about making sure that every kid has every opportunity open to them.
All right. Let me rephrase.
All right.
You've taken second seat as far as. You're not the one. It's not a week after tryouts have opened up, if you will, to where you're saying it's us or them. And you know what?
Yeah, I don't ever want to put a kid in that position where I say it's us or them.
Yeah.
I'll make recommendations and I'll tell them all day long why what I think we're doing here is 10 times better. But if he wants to go do something, there's a lot of seniors out there that want to play that last year of high school for their school, and that's fine. That's great. And you can actually do both. I mean, if you can afford it. It's just not going to be a conflict there.
Right.
So you can play a lot of hockey your last.
If you want to play hockey, you got ice. Right?
Yeah,
plenty of it.
Exactly. So, and so just about opportunities, making sure everybody gets their opportunity.
Okay. Anything else you want to leave with before we run out of batteries? Since I can't find our.
Let's just say that we're so close to making this happen. That I just believe it's going to be a matter of checking my mailbox and the people that continue to drop by my office to make the payment. We're going to be moving this really full steam ahead next week. I expect to be able to cash checks next week. I expect to be negotiating ice next week. Everybody will be included, and it's happening. So just if you're watching and you're registered. If you haven't registered yet, go to TampaYouthHockey.com and register. If you're already registered and get your payment in, get your paperwork in, that's when the fun work begins, and it will be busy, and it's going to be a lot of work. But once that first hurdle is crossed, which is getting the amount of money needed to secure the ice for the season and drafting the teams, then we're up and running, and I want to get everybody in. So put some urgency behind it and get to the site, register, and if you're already in, get me the payment and the paperwork. Let's get going.
All right. Well, you know what? I think we should call it a day with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to dilute the message.
Dilute. Okay. Right. Well, hey, TampaYouthHockey.com. Let's go. Time for the FIHL. Time for something new.
Yeah.
Right? Just like the Bruins. Time for something new.
Yeah. Now you can say that.
Listen, don't be stretching your fingers too much, pal. You'll be right there on the golf course with him soon enough. Trust me. I don't see him getting past the second round, this next round. I really don't. You know.
Right. Well,
And you know what? This will make Ryland happy. But I like Dallas's odds right
and
now.
you know what? Dallas is looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
they're on a tear point wise, and yeah, and boy, Bonus just keeps doing the right stuff, man.
Yeah, former Bruins coach. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
He coached for the Bruins for years.
yeah. So
Yep.
he is, he's got more games coached now, I think, than he either is close to Bowman or past Bowman with games on the bench.
Didn't he coach in Tampa as well? Bonus.
Oh yeah, he did.
I think he was an assistant coach in Tampa.
He was an assistant coach at Tampa, and then he moved to Dallas. His daughter, Kristen, has done phenomenal things and continues to do phenomenal things for the area.
Dallas is you got to hand it Dallas. Dallas is, I mean, heck, I think they built like a half a dozen to a dozen rinks when the Stars moved down there, and they have a huge hand in youth hockey.
Dallas Elite program is it's formidable.
Yeah, so I mean, some of these NHL teams really go crazy with the youth hockey in the area, and that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Ken out of TDSA, he's a Dallas Elite guy.
Yeah, he's a Dallas guy, and then the Junior Lightning now have a Dallas coach too. So
we have a pretty strong Dallas contingency here.
Yeah,
right.
It's getting there.
All right. Well, with that, have a great rest of your night.
All right, get them in. Let's go. Chop chop.
Chop chop. That's a take.